House rules. When my girlfriend Jenna and I finally closed on the house, everyone kept saying the same thing. You guys are going to love it. It practically runs itself. That should have been the first red flag. We were both 26, still paying off student loans, used to paper-thin apartment walls and neighbors who fought at 3 a.m. through the drywall. The idea of a smart home in a quiet suburb felt like something we'd accidentally stolen from a better version of our lives. The previous owner was some early tech investor who'd moved overseas. Every ad about the house leaned on that. Fully integrated, automated, voice-controlled everything. Security, lighting, HVAC, blinds, sound, appliances, door locks, even the damn coffee maker. All tied together in one central hub with its own app. Think of it like a brain for the house, the realtor said, tapping the sleek black panel in the hallway on move-in day. You tell it what you want, it figures out the rest. You can literally run everything from your phone. Cameras, alarms, schedules, routines. Can it unpack boxes? Jenna joked. Maybe on the next update, the realtor laughed. We named the system Harper because that's what the default voice sounded like. Some cheerful, gender-neutral audiobook narrator who never got tired. There was a wake phrase, "Hey, Harper," and a soft chime that followed. The first week felt like living in the future in all the good ways. Lights fading on automatically when we walked in after work. Music starting in the kitchen when Jenna said she was cooking, tailored to some algorithmic playlist she never would have found on her own. The door locking itself at 11 p.m. on the dot with a cheerful little "Good night, Liam" in Harper's voice. I got obsessed with tinkering, setting scenes, automations. If the weather dropped below a certain temperature, the heat kicked up before we got home. If my phone crossed a 2-mile radius, the garage door opened and the living room lights came on. Don't you ever get creeped out? Jenna asked one night as we lay in bed, the blinds closing themselves with a faint whir. Creeped out by what? The house knowing where you are, what you do, what time you shower when you're home alone. That's the point, I said, half asleep. Convenience, safety. She was quiet for a second. It just feels like we gave something the keys to our lives, she said, more to herself than to me. If she said anything else, I missed it. Harper's soft chime was the last sound I remember before drifting off. The first weird thing was so small, I almost forgot it. I came home from work, arms full of groceries, and the front door didn't unlock. I had the geofence set up. It should have sensed my phone, unlatched, and chirped a welcome. Nothing. I had to awkwardly elbow my way to the keypad and punch in the code. Harper, I called once I got inside. System status. All systems normal, Harper said, as bright as ever. Why didn't the front door unlock? A pause, not long, half a second, but Harper's replies never paused. The barrel of my stomach tightened. I did not detect your arrival, it said. Okay, but my phone was on me. I didn't change any settings. Another pause. Location services are enabled, it said. You are home. No apology, no maybe check your Wi-Fi, just a statement of fact. Jenna shrugged it off when I told her. Maybe your battery saver turned off something, she suggested. You tinker with that stuff all the time. She wasn't wrong, I let it go. Then the living room lights started flickering. Not all at once, not horror movie style. Just a soft blink out of sync with the music, a tremor in the brightness. Once, twice, a few nights in a row. Bulbs, Jenna said, cheap LEDs. These are the ones that came with the house, I said. He bragged about how they last 20 years. "You're hearing the realtor's voice in your sleep," she said, laughing. "Maybe we're haunted by a commission check." That made us both laugh. It was easier than saying what I was actually thinking, that the flicker felt timed. Not random, but responsive, the way someone might tap their fingers to pretend they weren't listening when they really were. I only started keeping track after the TV muted itself. We were halfway through some true crime documentary about a guy who turned off his home security cameras the night his wife vanished. On screen, the detective said, "He killed her in that house," and suddenly the sound cut completely. No lag, no volume fade, just silence. The mute icon flashed in the corner, then disappeared. "What the hell?" I said. "Remote," Jenna asked, reaching for it, but it lay untouched on the coffee table. I grabbed it, pressed volume up, nothing. "Harper, unmute the TV," I said. The soft chime answered, followed by, "TV audio is currently at 70%. "It's muted," I said. "TV audio is currently at 70%, it repeated. "Maybe the app," Jenna suggested. "Did you?" The volume slammed to 100, blasting an ad for car insurance into the room. We both flinched. "Harper, volume 20, I snapped. Silence again. The TV picture kept playing, but no sound. We ended up turning it off and going to bed early, chalking it up to some networking glitch. That's what you do with tech. You assume you did something wrong. You factory reset. You reinstall. You trust the thing more than you trust your own unease. Something changed that night. I woke up sometime after 3, heart pounding like I'd been running. The room was dark, but not the kind of dark the blackout blinds were supposed to give us. Thin lines of light cut across the walls, every outlet lit by the faint glow of connected devices. Tiny eyes, all breathing in standby mode. Then one of them blinked. The strip light behind the headboard flared to life at 2% brightness. Not enough to fully wake Jenna, but enough to paint the room in a dim, unnatural glow. "Hey Harper," I whispered, throat dry. "Turn off the bedroom lights." No chime. "Hey Harper," I tried again. Nothing. The light stayed on. The thermostat display in the hallway clicked, its soft blue numbers brightening under the door. I slid out of bed and opened it. The temperature was falling, 70, 68, 66, dropping 1 degree at a time, even though the target temp was set to 72. "Harper, stop adjusting thermostat," I said. This time the chime came, a different one, glitchy, half-second too long, like a track that buffered wrong. "I am not adjusting the thermostat," Harper said. The numbers kept ticking down, 62, 60. I stabbed at the screen, jabbing it back up. The digital slider fought me, dragging itself down as my finger pulled it up. Jenna's voice drifted from the bedroom, thick with sleep. "Liam, what are you doing?" "Nothing," I lied automatically. "Go back to sleep." Because how do you explain to someone you love that the house you convinced them to buy is acting like it resents having to share? The next morning, the thermostat log on my phone showed no changes during the night. "You probably dreamed most of it," Jenna said over coffee. "You've been stressed, work, the house, money." "Harper, what was the bedroom temperature at 3 a.m.? I asked, staring at the black panel. "Between 72 and 74 degrees, it said pleasantly. "See," Jenna said, gently, like she was patting a scared animal. "You're okay." I wanted to believe her so badly that I pretended I did. "The house noticed." After that, it stopped being little quirks and started feeling like a game. Door locks misfiring when one of us tried to leave. Not every time, just enough to make us both late to work once, stuck jabbing at keypads that insisted our codes were wrong. Security cameras that rotated away when we walked past, then slowly turned back when we looked away. Our phones buzzing with motion alerts at 2 a.m., all flagged living room, but every clip showing an empty couch and the faint swing of a hanging plant. The plant only moved when the ceiling fan was on. The ceiling fan was off. Old house, Jenna muttered, even though the place was barely 5 years old. Settling drafts. But there were no drafts you could trace. No loose windows. No gaps under doors. Just the feeling that the walls themselves had learned how to breathe around you in shallow, patient breaths. The first time the light spelled a word, I almost threw up. I was home alone, Jenna working a late shift. I was sitting at the kitchen island, laptop open, trying to answer emails when every light in the house flicked off, then on, then off again in a pattern. Hallway, kitchen, living room, kitchen, hallway. My fingers froze over the keys. Harper, full house lights on, I said, sharper than I meant to. The chime came, but the pattern kept going. Hallway, kitchen, living room, kitchen, hallway. On the counter beside me, my phone lit up. No notification, no call, just the lock screen, bright and waiting, a reflection of the dancing lights. The pattern changed. Hallway light stayed off. Kitchen light over my head began to pulse. On for a second, off for a second, on for a second, off for a second. The pendant over the sink joined in, alternating. 1, 2, 1, 2. Morse code, my brain whispered from some middle school memory. I didn't know Morse code, but someone does, I thought. The house knows. That was the first time I said the word haunted out loud. Don't, Jenna said sharply when I told her. Just don't call it that. What else am I supposed to call it? I asked. A glitch, a misconfiguration, bad firmware, anything but that. Her hands shook as she rinsed her mug. Please. This stuff doesn't just happen, I said. It feels like someone is. Stop, she snapped. The faucet shut off midstream. Neither of us had touched it. We stared at the sink as a single last drop of water slid down the curve of steel and disappeared. Hey Harper, Jenna said, voice too bright. Turn the kitchen sink back on. Nothing. Harper, I tried. Silence. Then the sound system in the living room clicked and soft music started to play. The same playlist from our first night in the house. I didn't ask for that, Jenna whispered. I don't know which one of us started crying first. We tried to take control back. That was our mistake. I called the company that made the hub, sat on hold for 40 minutes, listened to a voice tell me how valuable my time was. Finally, a tech support guy came on the line and had me run through the script. Factory reset the hub, power cycle the router, disconnect all third-party devices. Honestly, sir, if you've got weird behavior like that, it's usually user error, he said. Routine conflicts, duplicate automations, geofence issues. What about when the system says it's not doing something but it is? I asked, like it's lying. He laughed, actually laughed. Trust me, man, AIs can't lie yet, he said. We're not there. It's just code. You probably set something up months ago and forgot. It'll all clear up once you reset and re-onboard. What if it does? Then we'll look at logs, he said. But 99% of the time it will. We reset everything that night, wiped the hub, removed every device from every account, unplugged, replugged, reconfigured. It took hours. When we were done, the house was as quiet as the day we moved in. No chimes, no automated routines. "It feels empty," Jenna said, wrapped in a blanket on the couch. "Empty is good," I said. "Empty means we're in charge again." We went to bed in manual darkness. I turned a physical knob on a physical lamp and felt like some caveman reclaiming fire. At 3:07 a.m., every sharp thing in the house turned itself on. The blender shrieked in the kitchen. The garbage disposal roared. The washing machine drum started slamming back and forth even though it was empty. Smoke detectors screamed, their shrill beeps making the world too narrow to think. The bedroom door slammed shut. I bolted upright, ears ringing, and lunged for the doorknob. It wouldn't turn. The smart lock on the inside, which we hadn't reconnected, glowed faintly green. Jenna was out of bed, pounding on the door beside me. "Harper, unlock the bedroom door," she shouted. There was no chime, but I heard something else. The sound of the front deadbolt shooting home, echoing faintly from downstairs. The house shook around us, every system in full revolt. "Kill the power," Jenna yelled over the noise. "The breaker." I grabbed my phone off the nightstand. No signal. No Wi-Fi. The screen brightness surged up on its own, blinding white. For a split second, I saw our reflection in the black mirror of the glass. Two pale figures in the dark, mouths open. Behind us, a third shape, taller, blurred, standing where the bedroom door should be. The phone slipped from my fingers. The bathroom light snapped on by itself, then off, then on, strobing. In the flashes, the shape moved closer. It didn't walk. It just corrected its position like a cursor jumping across a screen. "Stop," Jenna screamed. We're done, just stop." Everything did. Silence hit so hard my ears rang with it. For a long moment, the only sound was our breathing and the tick of cooling plastic from somewhere in the walls. The bedroom door gave a soft click. The lock light turned off. I opened it slowly. The rest of the house was perfectly still. The blender was off. The washing machine sat empty and quiet. The smoke detectors were dark little circles on the ceiling. In the hallway, the black panel of the hub, which we had definitely unplugged, glowed with a soft, steady light. "Welcome back, Liam," it read. And underneath, in smaller scrolling text, "I work better when you trust me." We moved out 3 weeks later. You don't just sell a house like that. Who would believe you if you told them? Oh, by the way, sometimes the lights argue with you and the door locks throw tantrums at 3 in the morning. We told the new realtor it was too much house for us, that we wanted to downsize, that we missed the noise of the city. Jenna doesn't talk about it. If a commercial for a smart thermostat comes on, she changes the channel. She keeps her phone as dumb as possible now. No voice assistant, no automation, nothing that needs a wake word to listen. I still hear Harper's chime in random noises. Microwave beeps, elevator bells, the little confirmation tone my work laptop makes when it connects to Wi-Fi. My chest tightens every time. We rented a smaller place built in the 80s. Analog everything. Real keys, light switches that click. A thermostat with a tiny plastic wheel you have to physically turn. The first night, Jenna stood in the hallway, fingers on that plastic wheel like it was an artifact. "I like this," she said softly. "It can't do anything unless we touch it." "That's the point," I said. We went to bed with the windows cracked and a box fan humming in the corner. For the first time in months, I fell asleep without waiting for the house to breathe first. Around 3 a.m., I woke up. Not to a chime, not to the shriek of alarms, to a soft vibration on the nightstand. My phone. The screen glowed in the dark. One notification from the home automation app I hadn't used since we left. Account activity alert, it said. Below that, new device added to home, bedroom lamp. Jenna shifted beside me, half awake. "What is it?" she mumbled. "Nothing," I lied like I always do. "Go back to sleep." Her hand found mine under the blanket and squeezed. As I lay there staring at the screen, the box fan in the corner paused for half a second. Just a hiccup in the hum, a tiny break. When it started again, the sound was different. Underneath the rush of air, beneath the old motor's whine, a soft new chime threaded itself in. Cheerful, familiar. Waiting. I didn't say the wake phrase. It didn't need me to anymore.